Let's get this going. Gonna wait for sound to clear me, and then I should be okay. All right, great. Thank you. Hey everyone, this is Judge Desire for Knowledge, and you are with Know Your Truth Real Talk show. I come every week Saturday at 3 o'clock live. If I'm not live, you'll see me upload a tape. That means I'm on my travels and I can't get to you today. But when I am live, you will see me. So, so today is a beautiful day out here in the country. I love it out here. Nature girl. Not sad at all about leaving the city. But either way, so I come to you today with a discussion that I wanted to discuss with you guys that I've been thinking about a long time, because you go to work every day, and if you work in the city or not in the city or wherever you work, there's always some type of things that you can use for content on your shows, because it's just gonna be available. So this is one of them. When you see people that always constantly victimizing other people or themselves, usually it's just something is wrong inside of them internally. So I decided, wait a minute, I know a lot of people that I've been seeing, and they use this this victim mentality all the time. I think I'm going to use that as my content today. So that is what it is. And today's discussion is get rid of the, sorry, these mosquitoes, get rid of the victim mentality, and it's mind over matter, believe it or not. And we've all been there before, where we've had the victim mentality at some point in our life. If not, kudos to you, because I'm going to be honest, I used to think that way in my teenage years. And I evolved and changed mentally, so it doesn't affect me anymore. But I know people that it still affects. They don't evolve, they don't change, they stay the same. And those are the people that I'm trying to help out here, to realize that it's not anyone else, it's you. Maybe my next content will be look in the mirror, because I have a content title like that. So, but anyway, today's discussion is about actually mental, um, victim mental mentality. Sorry, victim mentality. So this can actually be, sometimes we get caught up, on stuff and blaming other people, and this can confuse us, that we're not looking within ourselves, that it's our own problem, but we'll blame other people for things that happen to us, um, in our everyday lives or in our past, that can have us fall victims, mentally. Once you notice, you make the change in your mind, exactly, and things will change. Of course, that's exactly what I mean. Thank you for that comment, sweetie. Um, that can also, people can fall victim when they don't change. So mentally, over things that we cannot control. This is the people that, there's things we can't control in life, but you can change it. So there's a big difference. We can't control certain things, but you can change it. And this is why there's so many people who use a victim mentality mindset. And that is one of them. That's one of the reasons. Change can be done within oneself, but someone would have to want to change in order for that to happen. Because we can't control the every day-to-day stuff that is out of our control, but what we can control is ourselves. Our internally, we can take care of ourselves mentally, if you have that capability to, and you're not really sick upstairs. Then you have more of a chance to get out of the victim mentality, especially if you're mentally healthy, right? So I put along some stuff that I'm going to have to help you assist to know if you have heard these type of mental mindset outlines, which one of them for me is, for instance, when a person lives in a poor neighborhood, and doesn't see a way out, and always blame on societal factors and their parents, or their culture or their race, is the reason why, but doesn't make changes. That's, we was talking about that. Yeah, to address the situation, that's using a victim mentality. And it's easier said than done. But if you don't change inside, you won't be able to do anymore. Everyone always say, oh, I don't have the money for this. I don't have the money. Granted, but you can change the mindset and make it a better place for you to live in. You can still stay in the neighborhood, but how about we make it better? That makes sense. So that's how you can change that type of victim mentality. And I have another few to go ahead with you so you can recognize what victim mentality is, what we were programmed by either parents, culture, society, race, because each race and culture has their own victimization or programming, I should say, that has this type of victim mentality, I must add. And so the next one is, sorry, when you were taught that you're supposed to be, this is a good one, you're supposed to be broke and poor because you are a certain race or culture. We're taught that. We program, oh, yeah, that race is not going to have the money they should, and they're not, or that country is broke and poor because they're third world. Things like that keeps us in a victim mentality because, yes, if they are third world, that doesn't mean they have to remain there. People have to rise to the occasion. You have to rise within where you live and change and rise first within yourself in order to make that change. But this is one of those victim mentalities because your parents never some people, your parents never made the changes required to better themselves, and because of that, um, they were taught that from their parents as well. And it was probably a generational thing. There's many reasons and many factors as to how this can happen to someone, and it's sad because we all have no control over our circumstances except within ourselves to make that change. And like I said, we can make the change internally, and it doesn't take money. No, it doesn't. Money isn't everything, but we need it. And once you put money ahead of yourself, then you get into this type of thing because that's what you let rules you. Another thing is when another victim mentality thought. Now this is only my opinion because this show is called Know Your Truth, Real Talk, and the reason why that title is because this is not it's not facts. It's my truth from experiences, from um, work experience, from daily experiences, or whatever the case may be, experience, period. And everyone has their own experiences that they can share here too. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And once you do, we can get together and have a dialogue on it and experience what your truth is. So we're not here to debate who's telling the truth, who's not telling the truth, what are facts, and what are not facts. And I wanted to clear that with everyone now. So that, sorry, this is evidently for me to help others see what I had to learn to see for myself and what I've seen through other people. All right. So as I was saying, I don't know why my throat, excuse me. Mm, wow, this is some good water. Let me turn it on. All right. So the next thought of matter is that I came up with was when you were taught people who were brought up under negative circumstances. This is when you were taught. Excuse me. Yeah, I know. It doesn't want me to talk, but I'm going to get my message out either way. So hang in there, everyone. I'm getting the message out regardless. It always happens. I get the message out without a doubt. Thank you. You know what? I feel better already. Um, so when you were taught that people who were brought up under negative circumstances can never make it out or get ahead, that was false too. That's a victim mentality when you're taught that under the programming of the system, the society, sometimes it's family, generations and generations of the same thinking over and over again, and only those that set themselves free mentally from that actually move upward and forward, while the rest of us stay behind. And I'm not saying us, me, because I'm moving upward and forward, but I'm saying that there are some people that won't, and you know who you are. And that's why I'm coughing. Wow, I love that water, so purified. All right, my hubby bought it for me. It's really good. Turn on this violet light, and it works. Thanks, honey. All right, so let me clean my nose. And so that's number 3 for my when you want to discuss things with people, be careful what your conversations may be. I try to keep away from people that are negative with that victim mentality talk. What I do is I end my conversations really quick and with respect, because I give respect to others and I expect it back. So instead of going into a long talk and having this person or people keep talking to you negatively about how the world is not, you can either help them change, and if they can't within that conversation, they don't plan to. They just want to bring you down with their energy, and therefore now your energy is drained like a vampire. They are. I mean, it's like going in, sucking for blood, and leaving you dry. So I learned this, and I don't let people program my thinking and or take my energy at all. And I will project that in my shows, because this show is about self-empowerment and self-improvement. And since I can do it, the whole world can do it. It's that easy. It's not a hard thing to do. It's that you're going to want it. Here go behind. Voice got behind. Yes, get back behind me, Satan, and all you witches and warlocks out there in the world. You're part of his plan. Get there under my feet and stay there. Thank you for that one. Because the light will always shine over darkness. Anyway, moving to number 3, what I was saying, that mindset about if your circumstances were given you to a place or people or things that weren't what you expected. We can't control where we were born or what happened, but we can change it. So that was that one. And what I was talking about with the family mentality is usually people that victimize or they stay there. And so it's not going to be easy for people that have victimized. I know that, but staying in that kind of sense is not. And there's some people that haven't been victimized. They've just been programmed, and they keep in that programming. And that programming leads them to adulthood still maintaining it, and they don't get over it and they don't get through it. Like I said, you can change that. It's not that hard. It's free. You're going to want to have to do it. Repeat your last comment. Use sound is, oh, okay. So my last comment was that when I stated that your circumstances, sometimes you can't control your circumstances, but you can change them, is what I said. And that goes back to number 3, when I said, when you were taught by people and you were brought up with that in negative situations, you can never get out of, or get ahead. Those are what we are taught. We can't get out of it, and we can't get ahead. So I'm breaking up. I'm not sure why. Can you hear me now? You can't get out of it and you can't get ahead, is what we're taught and programmed. I don't know what's going on with my sound. All right. So I'm going to keep going, and you let me know. I hope I'm not breaking up, because I know people don't want to hear this, because the negative trolls, as my friend Uncle Mike, you need to go watch him on Our Daily Lives. I think it is very positive. Very, very. He's one of my soul tribe brothers, and he doesn't even know it. But and anyway, so we're going to go to number 4. Okay. And can you hear me now? All right, I'm going to keep going, because this is working. Okay. Um, okay, great. Thank you. I was waiting for your reply. And so when you were taught again, I'll say that again. When you were taught about or brought up under negative circumstances and that you can never make it out or get ahead, it's false. We were just speaking on that in case you didn't get that with the microphone going out for the second, for a second. Number four, when you were taught, now I start with when you were taught. Some people have been taught this by society, family, whatever, whatever resonates with you. When you were taught that you were not going to have that family, marriage, or relationship because you never had that in your family or because you didn't come from a family like that. So people even think that because of the kind of family they come from, this is the victim mentality, is what sets them to do what they do, be alone, or whatever the case may be. But those are the victims, you know. They're the ones that actually utilize that as to me, it's making excuses, but for some people, it's real. I suggest, because I'm not a teacher, a judge, or a lawyer, or a doctor, but I suggest you go see a therapist when you know that you can't come out of it. Then you need to start seeing someone seriously. And next is um, when your heart has been broken before, but you seem to I mean, because of a relationship or a marriage, and you think you you won't ever love again, that's another mentality. Nope, I'm never gonna love again because I have been brokenhearted. I mean, people get brokenhearted every all the time. It's not easy, but you get up, you stand up, you get over it, and you move forward, upward and forward. This kind of mentality is also a victim mentality because you're robbing yourself from love. Everyone needs somebody. I don't care what you say. Oh, I like being alone because you were scorned or something happened in your life. Now you don't treat yourself good anymore because nobody wants to be alone. We weren't made to be alone. So, and if you're dating other people, you're not alone. It doesn't mean that I'm saying you have to be married to them. I'm just talking about not having a loving relationship, which is the ideal of what I'm stating, because what it is if you love yourself, you're going to be able to love other people. And so there's no reason for you to say, I'll never love again. You love you, right? So you will get out of that mentality. And another one is because your heart was broken before. I realized that's the reason, and we understand that. Take time for yourself. I just realized I should be actually giving you advice on that. Besides psychology, take time out for yourself to love yourself for a while, 6 months to a year at least. Don't jump in bed with the next man or female within 3 weeks to 2 weeks. That's why you can't find love, and that's why you can't think about love anymore because you're not looking for it. Some people don't want love. I don't know how that works. Are you a demon or what? Because to me, love is the best thing ever. So when I get in a relationship, I intend for it to be love and not just being there. You know. I hope I'm taping. Hello. I know I'm taping, but can you hear me? Because I don't see your view here. Moderator. Moderator. All right. I'm sorry, people. Okay, I don't see you in here as a view. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. But either way, let me hurry up and finish this because I have grilling to do, which I will post later on my shorts, my new grill that I bought myself. I treated myself for Mother's Day, along with all the other gifts I got. And I hope you all had a great Mother's Day as well. So let's go with when you were taught that you were not going to have that family and marriage, right? So we went on to the fact of a broken heart. Yeah. And my condolences to those with a broken heart, but you will find love again. Um, and when you were taught to believe that if you can't create much out of your life, you can't create much out of your life because you're not smart enough or talented to succeed. That's another lie. We all have our own gifts and talents, and we just got to find them. and stop using that as excuses of not to do anything while we watch social media and other people on there, even with foolishness. I'm sure your creation can be something better. I don't even go on social media unless I'm posting something good, that's of value or positive about my show or any positive thing that comes to mind, because there's so much foolishness there. And if they can create foolishness, believe me, you can create some good stuff to get that foolishness out here. And that's the reason why I don't go on there as much. I don't want to see stupidity. I don't want to see people beating each other up. I definitely don't want to see buttocks, nasty buttocks. And I don't want to see men gyrating either. So if that's all we have to give as a talent, that's how I know we all can do something way better than that. That's like the lowest talent I've ever seen in my life. I mean, who can't do that? Create something, do something, grill, cook, sew on YouTube, but you don't sit there and gravitate or whatever the heck, gyrate, I should say, and clapping your buttocks for the men of the world, and then be like, and I said this on my other show, I wonder why I'm not married. I wonder why too. I mean, if you're wondering, then you're an idiot, and I don't like calling people that, but idiota. But I'm gonna keep it positive as much as I can. I've heard that for every year you've with some, it takes 3 months to get it. Yeah, yeah. It takes a while. It's not easy, but it's up to you when your dating time comes and you feel like if you don't want to date, don't. And if you do, do, and see what happens. And if that date doesn't go well and things doesn't feel well, then it's not time for you. Because I don't know when you'll ever really know the time. Only you will know, excuse me, when the time is for redating again. Because broken heart is not easy. It's one of the hardest things we have to go through. Either we lose somebody one way or another. It's not easy at all. And thanks for that comment. Thanks a lot. I really am happy that you said that. It does take time. Um, I wanted to go on to say that when you were also taught that you were disabled physically or sometimes partially mentally, that you have to accept life as it is. No, I've seen a lot of people that are disabled where I work come into work in wheelchairs into the courts. I've seen a blind man graduate from a college with sum cum laude on one of the highest honors before, and went on to his MBA, I believe it was, but this was years ago. I've seen, and I can tell you, disabled doesn't mean I'm not going to take care of myself. I'm just going to collect a check. Those are the people that probably cannot work at all, or they're trying to save their health. Other people are just lazy, but and a lot of disabled people do work, and so I wanted to put that out there, that mental um, mentality, victim mentality, we are taught, programmed to think of with disabled people, that it's um, that they themselves think that they can't do nothing, they're useless, how am I going to do that? Things happen to people, and some people were born that way, and they make the best of what they have, because you know what, you're alive, and that's what matters. And if you don't want to be alive, then get counseling. But other than that, yeah, I would never um, would want someone to victimize themselves. They're already disabled, so you don't want them to have a victim mentality. So the way of getting out of that is do what you do in your everyday life. Go outside, go in nature, do what you can. Let your body, I don't know what type of disability anyone would have, but even blind people are doing what I have. A blind judge at one of the courts I worked with for years. I won't mention his name. I almost did just now, but he knows who he is, and he's a blind judge. I mean, these are people that studied law, okay, and he was blind his whole life, I believe, partially, I think. Um, and he's working as a judge. Now he sat down as a judge, and he's now back to be running his law firm. Yes, with assistance, but that didn't stop him. So this is when I say that um, when we talk about mental victimization, and sometimes it has to do with our programming of culture, place, people, families, society, cultures, race, and we have to figure it out for ourselves and take back our control. So I'm going to try to get through this now because, excuse me. So to me, the message here for me, anyway, just as I acknowledge that this must that we must face the truth and take the responsibility of our own actions. Therefore, with accountability, that we can stop the negative mindset we have either taught to us or believed by society and programming, um, to stop that programming that we were taught and given, and deprogram from it to reprogram our mind. If that makes sense. I know it does, but just in case, I wanted you to know, it's very important that we deprogram that victim mentality that we all have some way or another, which is sad. But deprogram your mind, and it may be difficult at first, but for a lot of people to do, but it's your life, right? And by that, and your life is important to you to actually understand it. But if you go through this video, you'll understand what I was trying to say about control. There's things we can't control, but there are things that we can change, which is what I stated. Because if your life, okay, so let me just see this note here that I had put. It was really important. Okay, so it's difficult for a lot of people to do, but if your life is a cycle that keeps repeating itself, that's it, then you have not learned the lesson from that experience and that intended. I'm sorry, I'm reading comments. Pray that shows you the way. Yeah, pray that God shows you the way and changes for the betterment of yourself. Yes, that's it. That's it right there. Stay prayed up. And that's for sure. Pray on it all the time. I have to suggest that was a good one. But it's a cycle, and these cycles can maintain throughout families, societies, and cultures and races, and they keep in that mindset that this is what it is instead of changing it. So there's things that's out of our control, but with you yourself changing it is really important, because only you can do that for yourself as an individual. You can't change the world. People have to change it together. There's a saying, an old saying about you can't raise a child without a neighbor. I can't remember because that was an old school saying. I know my mom used to say it. But either way, let's get on to this part that I was trying to say, that it's a cycle that keeps repeating itself, and then you have not learned a lesson of that experience, from that experience. And by that, it was intended for you to learn this lesson, to move forward and upward with it. But people stay stuck. And when you stay stuck, you haven't learned from it, you don't grow, and you stay there. Um, you stay stuck there, and you have the opportunity to be to relive what you saw. So what I mean by that is you have the opportunity to, once you have advanced to pass the test, you get to relive what through other people, what you had to go through, which is why how we get to teach each other. Because if you don't learn your lessons, you stay there, you stay stuck. That's a part of the victim mentality as well, because a lot of people stay stuck. It's like everyone was enslaved, not just African Americans, but people tend to utilize that that's the only people that were enslaved, and they didn't read the history books. So here is our thought process. It was only us, it's only us, it's only us, and that's wrong. That's just an example, and we could talk about that on another show. You can debate with me on that one if you like. You can leave comments. I would definitely answer your comments. You can email me too. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as well. So say in your family, conclusion, in your family or growing up in your